Hey!
Yeah, we're. Hey, maybe the sound quality might be higher.
Because we're doing this on a new device, my iPad Pro.
Oh, he's had this since last Christmas.
But yeah,
that's the point. Welcome to oh yeah, today's his birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to me. And it just happened to fall on the 10th of a month, which we'll explain that in a minute. But first, before anything else, the remix you're listening to is Kirby's Dream Land Castle Lololo Electro House / Chiptune Remix by Myka, M-Y-K-A-H. So, I'll be sure to check them out. Since without them, this video wouldn't have any music.
So, okay. Back on that point, being the 10th of the month, why is that significant? Well, about a week ago, I proposed an idea. If you remember back for our 7 days of review, it was our first day was dedicated day one onto reviewing the modern Kirby games until Star Allies came, prior to Star Allies. What does this have to do with it? Well, I realize we barely scratched the surface when it comes to Kirby.
Yeah.
Now I know I have I'm on a plan ends file. I'll review Star Allies, and trust me, guys,
it is coming.
We'll do it.
We will get it done sometime this fall.
Hopefully.
The reason I say this fall is because, well, our summer schedule just got occupied by the summer of Kirby.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like I said, it's a little something Noah proposed, and
sorry, ain't how Kirby is very, very special to you.
I played a lot of Kirby games, both main series and spin-off.
So we'll be. Should we go over the schedule?
Well, yes. Sure. Where's the schedule?
It's an important shit point. Important shit. What? Important.
I always forget how it doesn't have a folder like that. Summer of Kirby schedule.
So this month.
Okay.
You didn't loop it.
No, I didn't. So this month, obviously today, we'll be reviewing Kirby's Dream Land, and on the 20th we'll be reviewing Kirby's Adventure / Nightmare in Dreamland. On the 30th we'll be reviewing Kirby Canvas Curse. On the 10th of July we're going to be reviewing Dreamland 2. On the 20th of July, we're going to be reviewing Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. On July 30th, we'll be reviewing Kirby Rainbow Curse.
Kirby and the
Rainbow Curse. On August 10th, we're going to be reviewing Kirby's Dream Land 3. On August 20th, we're reviewing Kirby Squeak Squad. And to close it off, on August 30th, we're reviewing Kirby Superstar / Superstar Ultra. So I look forward to those. The only games I still have to play, I still haven't finished Rainbow Curse, and I'm kind of got a deadline for the end of next month, and I got to try out the remake of Superstar Ultra.
He doesn't own it because it's fucking expensive.
So I'm gonna have to play that on an emulator. I played the original on my SNES Classic. It's an awesome game.
So anyways, but that's
out of the way. Hey, let's get talking about Kirby's Dream Land.
The one that started it at all. Well, development on the game has, as you all know, Google who created Kirby.
It's this guy.
No, oh god, not that guy.
Wrong person.
This guy.
Masahiro Sakurai.
I mostly know.
Mostly know for Super Smash Brothers.
But he was the brain Kirby.
He was the brains behind Kirby.
So they originally want. I think if I remember, Sakurai originally. I think it was a development start. He wanted to make a game. You noticed how most game Ames. There are a lot of games that are too hard for, or that were too hard back then, or at the time. So we wanted to make something accessible for all players. So, so he created it at the time. I'm Popopo.
Who was a skull?
Who was meant to be a dummy character. They used to
test the game and before designing the actual place.
However, they
grew extremely attached to Popopo and decided to keep the design for the final.
Also, Kirby. Also,
and his name was
the game was titled Twinkle Popo.
Due to the name Popopo being different from Kirby, the original name of the game was Twinkle Popopo. It was Twinkle Popo, which is the funniest thing ever to me.
And also, widely known fact, Kirby was created when Sakurai was only 19.
Yeah, he was barely an adult. At the time,
going by Japan and rule.
When are you considered an adult in Japan?
You're still considered a teenager or until 21.
Wow. Sakurai wasn't even legally an adult when he created Kirby.
Now Kirby's Dream Land released on April 27th, 1992. Oh, another part I missed. So you know what? Notice something weird a little off on the box art.
Kirby is pure white on the original.
Here's the thing. Masahiro Sakurai, Kirby's color hadn't been decided upon. Sakurai wanted him to be pink, while Shigeru Miyamoto thought he should be yellow. Eventually, Nintendo decided to make him pink.
They decided to go with Sakurai's idea of making pink since they thought the color suited the character better.
Yeah.
So before our argument came to a close, Kirby was just left as a blank white.
And also the game was called Kirby of the Stars in Japan. And the game really
Look back. The yellow Kirby. He is actually he consistently used as Kirby's Player 2 color scheme in future games, such as Kirby's Air Ride, where he's dubbed Kirby.
Also, so the game released on April 27th, 1992. The generally positive reception, and it was also a hit too. Who's selling 5 million copies worldwide. So that's
the basic rundown of the development of this game. So let's get into this game.
Yeah. There's a reason we talked about all of this extra stuff.
The game itself is not very long.
It's only five stages. It's only 5 stages is long.
It's 5 stages long.
I mean, that was the point.
That's the point. It's meant to be a relatively short game, so you don't have to. Since I'm pretty sure it was invented before the time of saving.
Battery is were expensive at the time.
Are extremely expensive. So
and especially for the Game Boy.
To combat that, a lot of the games were very short back then. And Dreamland is no exception.
Unlike games at the time without save feature, is that an increased time is the time you spent and by making unfair design. On the other hand,
they just decide
Kirby
as much as they can to a short play time.
So you just play in like 30 minutes.
Something you can put half an hour aside to play through. Kill some time.
Well, what's the story of the game?
Well, the story is that Kirby, a resident of Dreamland...
you can just read the short synopsis.
One night, under the cover of darkness, the gluttonous King Dedede and his minions steal all the food in Dreamland, as well as the sparkling stars used to obtain more food. The next morning, and as the residents are discussing what to do, Kirby, a young resident of Dreamland, steps forward and volunteers to retrieve the food and stars and stop the eating.
Oh, how simple! Oh, very simple.
How simple it was before all the confusing
before God's show, before Kirby Kirby was taking down
before Kirby was fighting against Eldritch abominations,
and because they pissed him off,
because they interrupted his nap
for stolen
snack.
These were this was the only. This was it's simple yet effective.
On your journey to stop King Deity, you would go through 5 levels. The first level,
you might recognize this. You might recognize this state from Smash.
Green Greens. So yeah. List of levels. I remember the levels, the names of the levels 1, 2, and 5, and I forgot the levels of 3 and 4.
Well, Green Greens is yeah. Green Greens is a relatively simple stage. Also, if you're a Kirby veteran playing this for the first time, you might be shocked.
Yeah. Because
when you inhale an enemy and press down,
you can't copy their abilities.
This would be in the follow-up, be in the sequel, or a year later.
This would be in the sequel, Kirby's Adventure yearly. No, was Dreamland 2 a year after?
1995.
Oh, okay. So Dreamland. This would be in the second game in this Kirby series, Kirby's Adventure, a year later.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Kirby's first game. Yeah, it's a little weird for returning veterans that Kirby doesn't have his copy ability in his debut.
You mainly rely on inhaling your enemies or spitting on them.
Inhaling your enemies or spitting dust clouds at them at close range.
Control-wise, the game is extremely simple. Well, you hold. Kirby can move left and right. I use up and press up on the D-pad to fly.
There's no slide in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the slide hadn't been introduced to the series yet.
Yeah, very
extremely simple controls.
You got the bot.
Anyways, at the end of the first level, Green Greens and you're introduced to the game. And Kirby encounters an iconic boss in the franchise. Yep, the first boss in Kirby's history was Wispy Woods. The original version, not all crazy variants he has nowadays.
He's just plain clear as day a Wispy Woods.
Yep, so Wispy spits. Wispy spit
drops
apples and spit its wind at you.
It's pretty simple.
He's a simple boss. Effective as a beginner boss. Show us.
Right.
Though there's also, I forgot to mention, there's also a mini boss in this stage.
Mini bosses only take like 3 hits in
this game. The mini boss, Poppy Rose Senior, is he just pops back and forth across the stage.
Nothing to say.
Throws bombs at you.
Nothing really to say here.
Yeah.
Sure, even the first game had mini bosses.
Yeah, but even though there were only 3, and you fought each of them once.
And so instead of fighting the same aim one on dozens of times. but anyway, what would you rate the state Wispy Woods on the stage?
Green Greens is an effective at first level. It's a classic and teaches you how to play the game effectively. I'll give it a 7.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7.
Nothing super special, but it gets the job.
As for Wispy Woods,
I'll give him the same rating.
Yeah. And Wispy Woods would go on to become a staple, a series staple.
Next okay, we're doing a video right now.
The next stage is well, you're listening to the theme right now.
Oh, Castle Lololo. This is to date my favorite theme from the original Dreamland.
And fun fact for those that don't know, the boss of the stage,
Lolo and Lolo and his sister Lala
are actually from. He predate Kirby. I think The Adventure of Lolo came out from a game called The Adventures of Lolo. I think in 1989.
Right, so Kirby was in 1992.
92. Predates Kirby.
You're right, 3 years.
There's
It's around the same time Sakura
Pretty
and
sure-
Vision Kirby.
I'm pretty sure it's actually a fucking trilogy.
So, oh yeah. Nowadays, it's funny because Lolo and Lala are actually more known for Kirby since they still continue to occasionally make cameos. Those in the games. Heck, in Kirby, for example, in Kirby Fighters Deluxe, they appear as hazards on one of the stages.
So yeah, these two they push blocks around.
They push blocks around and appear. Well, you fight Lolo on his own, who own partway through the stage, as there's 4 shoots on the side of the screen, and he comes out of one of them and pushes a block. You gotta quickly react to which one he comes out of, inhale the block, and spit it back at him.
And
and at the end of the level, there's either 3 or 4 level.
Axel, no.
Okay, Axel, get him down.
No.
No. Okay.
Bad boy.
No. Okay, no. Don't push him.
Sorry.
There's either 3 or 4 level floor thing and Lolo and La both simultaneously come out of this
Thing.
come out of these holes in the wall. There's either 8 or 6 holes in the wall. I think it's 8. And Lolo and Lava will never come out on the same level, but will always come out on opposite sides. Yeah. Alright, each pushing a block. Okay. Well, actually, I think sometimes they're not pushing blocks.
Either way, you just
inhale blocks, spin them back, and as usual. Even though it's a little harder since they go across the whole screen to stop them. So you got to inhale a block, jump down a level, and spin it back at them as they're walking away.
yeah.
Hey, after you take out one of them, you get on the fights it's a little easier. Since yes, they actually do die separately.
Yeah.
Half the health bars for Lolo, the other half's for Lala.
The fight's pretty involved.
Yeah, the fight's actually pretty involved. It kind of shows a more complicated way fights can go on. This fight's super memorable. I'll give the stage and fight a 10. Oh, I forgot to mention one other thing about this stage. This stage introduces the game's first power-up. The super spicy Kirby. Yep, Kirby actually had power-ups that day. 2 of them. Granted, only 2 of them.
Yeah, remember that item from Smash?
Remember the super spicy Kirby from Smash? Well, I used to think it was just a reference to the anime. I had no idea how that he could actually spit fire because of Kirby in the games. Hey, specifically in the original. The more you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it just it basically makes.
Basically he can't inhale, but when you press the button and that normally lets you inhale, you spit out fire, which functions as a puff of smoke, except it goes much farther and faster. Until the timer for the Kirby runs up, you can continuously spit these fire waves.
I'm guessing the other power-up.
The other power-up, we'll go into that on the next level.
So, what would you rate it?
I gave both a 10.
Okay.
Next level is Bubbly, is Float Island. It's a water stage.
Kirby jumps in the water. Kirby just jumps.
It's super weird. Kirby doesn't actually swim at this point in the series.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah. As usual, he does move slower underwater though, which is always fun. Yeah. This is arguably the most tedious stage in the game. It's not bad.
Is this where you're introduced to Gordo's?
Yes, there's also where Gordo, I believe, it's either this or the last stage. Gordo.
And the boss here,
the unkillable enemy.
And the boss here?
And the boss here is thankfully much better than the stage. Kabula.
Aren't you in the air?
You fight her with the help of a new power-up. Whatever it's called, this lemon fruit thing that you inhale. That allows Kirby
turns the game into
it allows Kirby to infinitely fly and spit air and spit long-ranged air without deflating. Basically, you're making the game play like a side scrolling shoot, like a shooter. Which is super cool.
Yeah.
The fight with Kabula functions as, well, a shooter boss.
And, yeah.
So thankfully the fruit doesn't run out until you depleted Kabula's health bar. Or he land. So yeah. The fight with Kabula, she can fire cannons at you, and I believe she can ram at you too.
Yeah.
Overall, this is a super cool fight. Definitely gets a 10, and in my book. The stage, I'll give it a 6. It's arguably my least favorite of the stages.
And stage 4.
Stage 4, Bubbly Clouds. It's a
Remember much of the stage?
I don't remember much of it. I guess I'm just gonna hear the set. But what I do remember is the boss and mini boss. The mini boss is Kracko Jr. This cloud guy, this eyeball, this floating eyeball with 4 or small or cloud orbs floating around him. After you beat the mini boss, he retreats, and later on in the stage, he's collected more clouds and has grown these 8 lightning rod spikes. And has turned to a full-fledged Kracko.
What's the name? Doesn't the name?
Kracko Jr. doesn't really make sense because he's not Kracko's son. They're the same character, or one's just bigger. It's just one's just a weaker form.
Called Mini Kracko.
It should be called Kracko. Shouldn't they be called Mini Kracko and Mega Kracko?
And whatever. Kracko shoots lightning, and it moves around.
Fairly standard boss, but can be pretty difficult if you're a master of the game's controls at this point. Which is fitting for the penultimate boss of the game. So yeah, I'll get Kracko fight 9.
Kracko would also.
Kracko, in the same way as Wispy Woods, would also be a very
staple.
Well, it was also a staple boss in the series. He's appearing in just as often.
And so the level 5 isn't really a level. It's not exactly a level.
It's not exactly a level. You see, you go forward, and there's 4 doors. You have to go through each door, go through a small challenge area based on a previous based on each of the previous levels. Destroy a copy of yourself, Elf, which is just kind of awkwardly there. I don't understand that part. And then go through a door and rematch the boss of each level.
Yeah, this is a boss rush stage. And at the end, you're in a boxing ring.
At the end, and after you beat all the doors, after you went through every door and rematched all the bosses, you can float up to the painting in the middle and enter it like a door. Which allows you to battle King DDD.
You fight him in a boxing ring for some reason.
He jumps around and hammers the ground to produce stars, which is how you're supposed to hit him. You hail the stars I believe he also jumps around.
Remember, I died several times trying to fight him.
DDD is a really tough boss.
But
once you get his pattern down. But once you get his pattern down, you can finally conquer him.
This end cutscene is just hilarious.
Kirby launches DDD out of the castle through the roof, and then turns into a parachute. It turns into a blimp to lower the castle, to float the castle over Dreamland, just dropping food all over the place.
It's funny.
It's pretty funny.
So
DDD Castle DDD, Mount DDD.
Not really a level,
but I'd still give it a 10. It's cool.
As for DDD,
as for DDD himself, this is also a 10.
This is also the only time in the series where he's actually an antagonist.
Yeah. This is the only time in the series where he's a true antagonist. Not counting in Spring Breeze and Superstar. Tarzan, and well,
That's,
it's a retelling of this game.
but anyways, yeah, that's the game. Well, there's some extra content, except guess
Well,
what?
neither of us have been able to get far enough in extra mode to.
And also, you technically they give you the button command.
But you technically don't even need to beat the game, because if you know the button combination, you can enter extra mode right off the bat, which is good. So you don't. So if you turn off the game, you don't have to replay the main story.
Right.
You see, that's how a lot of games added hard modes without having to beat the main story first. You had to beat the main story to get a code, which the game didn't need to save. You just needed to remember it.
I mean, or let us
Write it down. Or if someone
unless-
told it to you, you could play it without having to play the normal mode, even though that's definitely not recommended.
Nintendo Power probably told you that these things.
Yeah, they probably gave you these codes of Nintendo Powered.
But oh my God, this video is 25 minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how Kirby began.
Yeah.
So what would you give the game?
Well,
we gotta rate this proportional to a Game Boy game. So for a Game Boy game, what would you call?
I'd say it's decent.
All right. So for the music.
That's music and game.
Music and gameplay. You know, I am going to give an honorable mention to the graphics, since they're because interestingly enough, the game has sometimes has these dynamic screen transitions.
The Game Boy was only 3 years old at that point.
For example, in Castle Lolo, you can get on a warp star, and Kirby blasts through the wall, leaving a hole in it.
Yep.
And the warp star explodes as Kirby drops to the ground in the next room.
Yeah.
It's the little details like that are really cool. Anyways, the music for a Game Boy soundtrack.
There's only like 5 tracks. Like 6.
Of course, there's only like 6 tracks, given that there's only 5 levels. But
on 2 boss themes.
But they're super memorable and catchy. And sounds surprisingly good for Game Boy, good for the Game Boy sound font. So, and as for the gameplay, it's simple but effective. The level design is solid, and the bosses are fun. And Kirby controls very smoothly. Overall, I'd say if you're a member of the Game Boy family and can find a used game store somewhere, definitely go ahead and pick up Kirby's Dream Land.
And it was actually the first thing, and I got one of the first games I bought when I picked up my Game Boy.
Yeah, it was one of the first things Noah bought when he picked up the Game Boy collection.
And
he's played through it a couple times.
So overall rating,
I'll give the game a 9. It's certainly not perfect. There's a few faults, but for a Game Boy game, it is a must-have.
Also, unlike other games, you don't really have to worry about, like future games, you don't have to worry about
you also don't have to worry about collectibles in this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the verdict.
And stay tuned.
Well, stay tuned for the 20th when
we might have something in between that.
We might upload things. We're definitely uploading things in between that, since I have my whole My Singing Monsters daily videos. But we might upload other things between them. But what we can guarantee is a video on June 20th. Yes, we can stay tuned for for Adventure/Nightmare and Dreamland, and that.
That being said, I'm Nozarin.
And I'm Emery, and bonjour, my wonderful viewers. See you in the next video. Yeet.